Hello, it's Matthew here, or with Amnesia or what have you, and I'm doing a video on Bael Modan. Well, is it basically the idea of this is just to talk about the idea, where it could go. There's some interesting things I don't think many people know about this place. For instance, that down there, right, actually has, it's not just a empty cave. There's things behind this. There's content behind this, and there's plans. Actually, the World of Warcraft RPG, or Warcraft RPG series has like an adventure or what have you, detailing a dungeon in there. This is well, could be possibly or scrapped, whatever, a dungeon down there. It's supposed to be a Titan type of thing, dungeon with Troggs and cave spiders. Now, the site is basically, according to the RPG, a big dwarven. It's actually very significant in that the dwarves go here by lore standpoint, and they're like, holy crap, there's Titan ruins, and they remove the Taurens around here, and also there's significant mention of centaurs, patrolling around here, and they cause trouble. And in the RPG, it goes in detail. You can encounter this, and basically you find the whole dungeon module details, these type of things, in the Horde's book. Player guide for the Horde, more or less. So basically, there's could be like quests related to the dungeon to deal with the centaur, but you wouldn't really find centaur in the dungeon for say, that type of thing. And I'll get more on the dungeon later. I actually have stuff ready to go here. I'm doing a very loose, very raw video here, more or less. I'll try to make it somewhat semi-professional, steps, right? And anyway, so there's Bael Modan. Dwarves are in there excavating because there's Titan ruins down there. Holy crap! And there's the dwarves are saying lots and lots of resources here, because this is like significant. It's like old men, but even more so maybe. Some of these dwarves actually here by lore want to move the whole dwarves over here because what they find, but and some of the dwarves are not so persistent. So anyway, the dwarves really value this place. This is significant. There's Titan's ruins down there, and there's some interesting things down there which are not really told about in the World of Warcraft. In Cataclysm, some things change, but it's like, oh, it's the dwarf at the entrance, like, oh, hope for the earthquake, whatever, buried whatever we found in there long ago, so it doesn't come back up again. Cause it's like, look, they found something almost like like the Balrog or something out of like Lord of the Rings. The dwarves dug deep kind of feeling going on there. But look into the RPGs, it's a little bit different. Not but that said, that could not always be super duper wrong either. Anyway, there's a big dwarf fortress place here. The typical dwarf model type of thing, right, with a dwarven fortress. So the lions, it's friendly to the lions. Here I'm basically on a lion's character here, and there's like there's dwarf architecture and building this. It gives an appearance of the dwarves having some type of presence on the little things. In Cataclysm, there's like those little battlements everywhere, meticulations kind of thing, right? Everywhere. So you go in here, basically, and there's a significant dude. Where is he? What's his name? Twin Braid, I think it is. Basically, if I can find him, dude. Yeah, he's down here, I think. He gets later, goes on this guy, right? So Horde players go in there, loot his thing. So it's almost like a little Horde dungeon, but he's basically this dude. He gets little shoulder pads and whatnot. He turns into like Grand Marshal, Twin Braid. He gets significant later on, so maybe get some shoulder pads and some quests, whatever, for Alliance. But Horde could also do related quests to this dungeon. Anyway, so that's that guy. There's also some rares around in the dig site. There's some people who sell stuff, that type of stuff, right? I think there's maybe fees up. There's also, let's see, it's also supposed to be pilots and things. Like they're supposed to be in the RPG. Like there's this gnome pilot, there's an older gnome pilot dude who's like almost like 200 years old kind of deal, and he's been through battles and stuff and didn't see the Third War, this type of thing. It's still around. Yeah, so this guy sells things, I think. I don't know. No, it's the other dude. It's the other guy. Anyway, there's dwarves and stuff. Talk to. They're named people, right? Anyway, let's go back to the dig site here. And an interesting note of this is that it's like you could add a little bit of quests and some, people here, whatnot, almost a little settlement. It wouldn't take much, more or less, right? But it makes you wonder, what the possibilities could be, in a sense. It just seems like, some things get cut, some things just don't quite happen in development. I understand that, you only have so many resources, so many things you can do. I understand this, right? But it makes me wonder if I'm not, typical, oh well, I'm like, I think about these things, I iterate and whatnot. I wonder about these things. Just, I don't know, jump down there somehow. But makes me wonder, like, there's planned out dungeons, there's planned out pieces here. Is this one of the, is that the rare guy, or is he just, no, it's just one of the rare guys is there, he dies every now and then, horde whatnot. But this site is significant because not just like some little camp or just some little thing. There's also built up lore. There's built up things. There's already like a blueprint for a dungeon already. Maybe a little bit, changes, more some bosses added more or less. It's not really super duper content rich in a sense. Like there's some bosses, but it's not really super crazy. Yeah, like there's supposedly like a, what is it, the Grease Lightning is supposed to be like a big airship or something around here, but like there's pilots and whatnot. Hard to say, maybe have like some other things, but it could be expanded upon if you really wanted to, in a sense, like I've always been thinking about this type of like super vanilla type of thing, just a rough idea, because you look at EverQuest, right? Just a ramble point here, last one, forget dungeon there is EverQuest was kind of like Warcraft 0 in a sense. World of Warcraft 0 is basically the blueprint, more or less, kind of, a lot of inspiration came from it, so it's like maybe do the same thing with this. I don't know, it's hard to say. But you see the damn entrance here. Where is it here? But yeah. So this place, it's all boarded up, right? But in there, it's, well, in World of Warcraft, this is where it ends. Maybe some horde quests, maybe some little bit of dialogue, but some rares and whatnot. But this is where it ends. In World of Warcraft. But if you stay with me here, not always. There's usually, if you look around, sometimes, or just you can do a little bit of research ad hoc, you can find things. For example, a lucky case in this is well, let's dive into the book now. Let's see, here we go. So adjust the video here, I guess, so I can crop it better. Anyway, so this is Bael Modan. This is the blueprint. There's actually two of these. For example, I'll spare you some time, right? I won't bore you with all the little details. You'll see all the page on it goes on and on and on and on and on. So there's the centaurs and on. I told you about the beginning part, Anyway, so maybe some quests, you find whatever, you can link those. I don't know, right? But these I'll tell you what the dungeon is. Here for the dungeon, not really anything else. But so just as Bael Modan, but maybe find some type of more creative name. I don't know. Maybe like Keeper's Vaults or some type of laboratory thing, or these type of things. It's a Titan thing, right? It's a Titan Vault, I don't know. It's not a Titan name. But anyway, here's the entrance there. I presume it's that cave, I suppose. Well, there's supposed to be like Troggs in here going outside, but I don't know. I don't know about that. But basically there's Troggs here. There's a pit trap here. So maybe like a false thing, a false floor, almost like EverQuest, maybe do that. Fall in there, does damage. I don't know. Scorpion pit. I don't know. Some of that, but you go in here, is Troggs. I don't know, maybe I have like something, but there's only like not many bosses really. There's like just Troggs. You go through here, and there's like a little creek thing. It flows from up here. A little waterfall right there goes down. There's a little. This is a big like ravine place here. And imagine this. This part goes up 45 degrees. This part goes down 45 degrees. The place in Wailing Caverns, where those stalactites and stalagmites. Picture that like this right here. There's also spiders. There's cave spiders in here. There's a big one. Like the cave mother or whatever, I don't know what the name is, but basically there's a boss here. There's also like a boss here, which is basically like a cook. This is a kitchen with like a little like the little crack in the ceiling where all the vent goes, and Troggs have little like flaming sticks for weapons, whatever, from the fire. And so yeah, so you basically go through here is Troggs. Maybe have a boss here, I don't know, but maybe not, just trash. And then you go through here and it goes up and goes down. There's stalactites, stalagmites, There's spiders here with a boss probably. And there's like a pool here with a little waterfall thing. And there's a little crack right in a little tunnel thing where the goes down, the water flows here, or it can go down here and it gets like a waterfall. This is a big ledge, so it starts up high and then kind of goes down, I guess. And then kind of a little bit down, but it's quite deep down there. There's water, right? Almost like Moradon or whatever the thing over in the Desolus is, like where it's all water and stuff. Maybe like, so, basically that. And so there's Troggs here, 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 and they don't go anywhere here. There's a little bit some Troggs over here, and like spiders and crap, I guess, in there. And also, interesting note, there's a elf dude in the RPG. It says like there's a body of a Trogg, and there's a body of like a basically like an elf demon hunter. There's 2 moonglaves it's wielding. And so this is all body all covered in like you know, the whole thing's covered in webs, basically, right? And there's basically 2 moonglaves, some armor, some plus agility gloves. You know, this is almost like Dungeons and Dragons. That's significant. So the boss, you know, throw it into boss loot. You know, maybe some like, I don't know, some swords or something, and like, you know, I don't know, like a agility glove, something like that, right? Make due respect to the source material, that type of stuff, right? So pool here, basically. Then there's Troggs, right? And there's a big Trogg boss here. What's the guy's name? He is, here we go. This dude, what's his name? There's Angerlock, I guess. And there's I think it goes into detail about the caves up here. If I just do it. I know there's a cook. There's a cook in here somewhere. Where is it? Area 1. What's he under? He's under area 5. So he goes to here. Here he goes. Marlock, I guess, would be the guy, I think. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. So Marlock is the cook. So there is like some Trogg boss. Go back to the picture here because everyone likes pictures. So, you know, cook boss, almost a cookie, I guess. There's spider boss. Maybe, I don't know. It doesn't really give a name. Just maybe like cave mother or something. I don't know. But and then there's Angerlock here. And there's some, you know, there's some mats and, you know, rugs, these type of things. Some, you know, some Troggs, and there's these big old Titan gates. Think of like these. The whole facility is supposed to is like kind of sunken into the ground, almost, you know, over time, kind of almost like sand, I guess, or like muck, and just 10, it's like 10, 100,000 years old. So it's, you know, it's type of thing. This is a bit of a, supposedly in the RPG you're supposed to climb down, you know, like hand and foot. So maybe just have like a switchback, you know, like a little really steep road going down. But this is like a ledge, right? And go down. That's basically that, right? There's basically Angerlock has like he's a shaman, has like little elemental things, whatnot, and guardian things. He cast spells with a big heavy mace. That type of stuff. Make it abbreviated to the point. And then here's the second part. Here's like the Titan, whatever it is. I don't know what you call it. Maybe some Titan name. I don't know for dungeon. But here's the meat on the bone, more or less. So this part here links up with this piece. Where is it? Right here. So just imagine this right here links up with this piece, more or less, right? And this is kind of like goes, you know, that way. Also, yeah, so it's just like, yeah, anyway. So you get in here and picture like some big old doors, right? With a arch, kind of half arch, so half circular, arch ceiling, so it's half a circle thing. They're broke, they're kind of not nudged open. You get in here, right? And it's basically where the main boss is. According to like the RPG, like this basically you fight this guy. It's basically the end boss. There's nothing in these chambers. This is where the Troggs came from. Got, you know, unearthed here. Had a bit of a hard negotiation with some time, and they broke out. And basically some Trogg bodies here, and they all went out there, right? But it's kind of like you could put more in this, maybe. Like it's kind of not really climactic to fight the end boss. You know, look at this. It's just, it makes sense, I guess, but like, I don't know. He's basically a big stone statue. If we go down here, where is it? Here he is. This is what it looks like when you're inside here. So basically, you walk in the door, you see this, like skeletons, of Troggs and crap, and some various defeated heroes. And this guy, he talks like he has these big glowing crystal things in his arms, supposed to talk in Titan language. You enter, and he talks in like your normal thing, and you can actually talk to him supposedly, right? So maybe he's neutral. Starts off with, I don't know. And maybe you like open up a door or some shit and he gets all angry, right? I don't know. It'd be cool to talk to him. There's some things. He's like a robot, really intelligent, but he's, you know, he's got like almost like super. He's whatever. He got a little almost like Data, I guess you could say, from Star Trek. But yeah. So basically sarcophagus. But supposedly here, right? It's all buried in crap. Supposedly more extension onto the like more potential. You could dig through that. So maybe like if you really want to make the dungeon bigger or something, maybe we could like. I don't know, maybe like this leads into here or something. Maybe you could do it so it's like you don't fight the end boss, or maybe you fight him later. I don't know. Maybe activate him or something. Maybe you go through here. There's a big stone boss, and you go through here or whatever, and there's some, I don't know, some type of crazy Trogg thing in there or something. I don't know. This is supposed to like broken vials and crap. Like think of like mad scientists with like living things in those tubular vials, you know, and have like Just, they're all dead basically, right? Failed experiment. These type of things. All time, the roof's all caving in most of the time, right? Here is actually like a bunch of platinum plated discs. Like Ultimate where you get the discs. This thing's 89 of them supposedly, right? And basically the discs of Norganon, which I think maybe are Legion. I don't know. Didn't look into it, but these like big ass shelves. These are like 10 feet high on the first shelves. Basically like bookshelves, basically a size for a Titan. So it's like you can maybe get up there. I don't know, maybe figure it out. But that's Bael Modan in the dungeon. So maybe it's like, I don't know what you would call it, some type of like Dwarven name. Maybe like this is supposed to be like a research center, like a big Titan research center. The dwarves want to be look after this, right? So a little bit of work. You can make like a dungeon out of this, but maybe you do maybe something funky where you wake up the end boss, you walk by him maybe, and you go through this area and this area. I don't know. Maybe kill the bosses here, and maybe he's like and wakes up. Suppose you, according to the RPG, you walk in here, you fight the boss, and it just kind of goes downhill from there. There's like nothing in here, there's nothing in there, there's nothing to get the discs, and you go out of there, right? But that only leaves like one boss, and it's kind of the boss. That's kind of the bosses actually, right? From the beginning to the end here, just to get an idea in the mental picture of things, right? So start off here, right? So just by according to the RPG, you have the kitchen, you have the cook boss. Here's a Trogg. You have a spider boss. You have I thought it's 1, 2. Then you have Anger Lock, which is big Trogg shaman cast stuff. 3. And then you have the guy in here, which is 4. That's not really a lot of, so well, that's kind of, and then you have all this dungeon you don't even use. It's just, I don't know, maybe it'd be interesting to walk by the last boss, keep it like this, I guess, maybe walk by the last boss, and have like some type of ghost skeleton Trogg, I don't know, in there. I don't know, maybe have like some type of weird abomination thing in here, because they're all messed up, weird experiment things. These are supposed to be all failed experiments. I think this guy tells you that or something, I don't know. But Trogg is supposed to be failed experiments, and the dwarves kind of were like a version 2, and then they kind of just turned it. The whole Wrath Lich King thing tells you. It's kind of weird. It's like 2005 around there, right? So it's quite had the idea, these things didn't take time, I guess, to develop. But yeah, so may have some bosses in here, like a big weird dead Trogg skeleton ghost, I don't know, thinking here, and have like weird experiment thing, abomination, and have like some type of keeper robot thing, I don't know, librarian, I don't know, something in there. Then they're, you guys like wakes up or some shit, they fight this. That'd be interesting, I guess. So you can like pick and choose whatever, I don't know. And they fight this guy, then or maybe talk to him first, I don't know, and then you figure shit out, and then you can fight him later for the loot, whatever. I don't know, maybe just stand on top of a treasure chest, I don't know. You do something like that, and do all the quests and stuff, hand in the discs, and it's pretty like, that type of thing. But this and Organon are supposed to be like some crazy ass crap, so I don't know, maybe. And also there's potential to expand this. The whole thing's hinting at like basically these are expandable, and this is maybe gonna be here and here, I don't know. But definitely this, talk about this place, maybe some more crap, maybe like a secret little chamber room thing, and a key or something. Like Scarlet Monster has a little like, you pull a lever thing and or have a key or something, I don't know. Maybe the disc on Organon opens, I don't know. Maybe do something like a little treasure room or something. That'd be interesting, yeah. Anyway, that's just thoughts on Bael Modan. Let's see, let's get back on the World of Warcraft. So, back here, and that's that. So, I think a lot of people, like, they stroll through these places, and they're like, it's just, wonder what's in there, a cave, I guess. But, yeah, they do a little bit of research, and sometimes it's not, you can't really find it, like, in the direct, like, you can be lucky, like, oh, here it is, in the book. It's like, sometimes you gotta, like, think about things. And there's also sometimes the stuff is like should exist like by lore, but it just doesn't what's the word, come about, I guess. It doesn't like manifest itself in the game. People may forget about it or something, but it's always interesting. Like that place in Thousand Needles, like in the Shimmering Flats or whatever, that basically ruins like this, but no one really talks about it so much. That's almost like prime time location for a dungeon again. But, I guess they only do so many dungeons, so many things. They already had Oldman and stuff, maybe want to do Moradon, whatever the dungeon. I never really go there anyway, so I don't really know the name very much. But, it makes you wonder what could have been, It makes you wonder what could have been if it's just a little bit of effort or a little bit something else. And, I always wanted to see what, a big super vanilla would be like. But, life is weird, I guess. So, anyway, that's Bael Modan, I guess. Quests and whatnot, so it's like yeah, makes you wonder. Anyway, this is Amnesia or Matthew or whatever, signing out. Have a good time, good day, and see you next time. Bye bye.